Hey, how y'all doing today? So in this video, I want to talk about gun buddies and toe pads. See you in a second. Alright, so you might be asking, what is a gun buddy used for and what is a toe pad used for? And why would you use them? So a gun buddy is simply something that you can stick on the barrel of your gun to carry around with you while you're shooting. And then, so it has a metal piece, you can click to your barrel as you're seeing on your screen. And then you can set it down to rest your gun on while you're on that post. And a toe pad is something that will strap to your shoes so that you can rest your gun on that. You might be asking, why is this important? Alright, so let's go to the paper for this because I did a little bit of math here. If the average shooter, which I think this is a good rough estimate, holds the gun for 4 seconds from the time they mount it to the time that the shot is finished and they're pulling it down, if they hold that pose for 4 seconds and they're shooting 400 shells in a day, now the normal competition day is going to be 300, but if I do a box of practice for singles, a box of practice for handicap, and then 50 for my doubles, then you're looking at 400 in a day, not counting shoot-offs. That's going to be 1,600 seconds in one day. Yeah, that's right, 1,600 seconds in one day holding a gun. If it's 1,600 seconds in one day, that is roughly 26.7 minutes. If it is 26.7 minutes in a day and I do a 5-day tournament, then we're looking at 133.5 minutes over that 5-day period actually holding the gun up. And whenever you use a 10-pound gun and it's 100 degrees outside, yeah, that can be a little bit tiring, especially for newer or younger shooters. So these are two vital pieces of equipment for any shooter. Alright, so I want to go ahead and start talking about what both of these are used for in an ideal situation. Let's go ahead and start with the toe pad. This is not for a semi-automatic or a pump shotgun. It's going to be for a break-open shotgun. For one thing, it's more comfortable to use the gun buddy. You're going to be better off to go that route. And another thing, you don't want the gun on your toe, because the thing about a semi-automatic is they can close sometimes, and when they close there's a chance it could go off, and obviously you don't want a shotgun going off on your foot. So don't use a semi-automatic or a pump shotgun, but break open shotgun, as long as you're safe and you pay attention to that, you're good. Alright, so the next thing I want to talk about is how to safely use both of these two tools so that you can make sure that you don't blow the concrete up in front of you or your toe off or something like that. So whenever you're using a toe pad, I'm going to go with the assumption that you're not going to be using a semi-automatic or a pump shotgun. What you want to do is, it's okay to go ahead and put the shell in the chamber while you have it on your toe, but do not close the chamber. Let me say that one more time. Do not close the chamber. That is really whenever you're looking at your risk, is if you close the chamber. You want to not close the chamber. Can't emphasize that enough. Go ahead and put the shell in there. Do not chamber the gun with it on your foot. Make sure you chamber it whenever it is pointed in a safe direction, downrange preferably, obviously. You want to point it downrange whenever you have it chambered for safety purposes. Now the next thing I want to talk about is the gun buddy, how to safely use it. Same rule applies for over and unders and break open shotguns like that. Is, don't chamber it while you have it on the ground. Chamber it when you have it pointed in a safe direction. And for a semi-automatic, do not chamber it with it pointed towards the ground. I have been on the line whenever I have seen semi-automatic shotguns go off just by pushing a chamber button. It's too big a risk. Do not chamber it whenever it is pointed towards the ground. That is not a good thing to do, and it will not go well for you long term for sure. As long as you use both of these safely, you're good. I mean, it's just like using a gun. If you treat it with the respect it deserves and keep it pointed in a safe direction, you're safe. The same thing goes with these two tools. Another thing I do want to cover about this on the gun buddy that is kind of a little bit of a quirk, if you will, is if you have titanium chokes, it won't stay on. So you can't take it with you while you're shooting, and yeah, that does kind of stink. You'd have to stick it on the side of the barrel. But fortunately, I have seen ones made now that are specifically for these type of guns. So for example, my Kurgov K80, I could stick it to the side of the barrel. The magnet comes up, you have your flat piece like this, and instead of the magnet being here, it's going to be here on the side and come up to where it can clip on the side of the barrel. If you shoot a lot of shells, or you're somebody that's new to shooting, in terms of shooting a high number of shells, these are two great pieces of equipment for you to check into for sure. Make sure you use them safely, as we talked about. As long as you treat them with the proper respect in terms of the safety issues, they're great pieces of equipment to add to your shooting accessories whenever you're going out there. So thank you for watching today. Give us a thumbs up on the video if this helps you out. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and go have a great rest of your day. Thanks.